All right, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are taking on the Volusia Speedway Park here in Barberville, Florida. This is my first race of 2026 with Buch Motorsports, and this racetrack is known as the world's fastest half mile. So this is the closest I'll be to the racetrack, of course, before I strap in. We have over 44 410 sprint cars here in the pit area with the World of Outlaw Sprint Car Series. And as a driver that's never taken on a place like Volusia, really just try to take time to walk around the facility, look at the racetrack. We actually got to watch on Monday for the makeup for the 360s that ran last week. That was super important. I felt like I was able to make some good notes and just watch cars go around the track. But what makes Volusia so fast? I mean, looking at it, it's the shape, it's the banking, it's, you know, racing in Florida in February. All night long, the pace is going to be up, but with that, Volusia also, you know, slicks off, gets wide. You can run down low, you can run right up against the wall. So a lot of interesting characteristics of this racetrack, and with me never being here before, just really going to do all I can to take it in. Now, as I mentioned, over 44 10 sprint cars, so it's going to be a great field, and here shortly, we're going to be climbing in for engine heat, hot laps, and qualifying. Well, our first laps here at Volusia Speedway Park are complete. After, you know, not running, what, I don't know, I guess I haven't raced in maybe 6 weeks or so. Felt like I was, you know, going 100 miles an hour, especially here. Or a million miles an hour would be a better way of putting it. You're just ripping around Volusia. You got so much grip and so much downforce. We were 14th quick in Flight B. I feel like I'm still, again, just knocking some of the rust off. And then obviously, you know, a new racetrack. Trying to figure it out. You know, we went out later, so the track was starting to go away a little bit, I think. And I feel like maybe we could have been a little bit more stuck. Just felt like I kind of was losing the right rear, you know, as I was kind of trying to run off the cushion. Again, though, too, I just got to work on being smooth. You got to be, I mean, your elbows cannot move at these places and your hands just slightly with the wheel, almost guiding the car. You're not even turning the car, you're just guiding it. Anyway, obviously we want to be a little bit better than that, but we're going to continue to make progress all week here, and now we're going to be rolling off 7th in a heat race. So sure, this place is going to race a lot different than you qualify. More lines are going to start showing up, and you're going to have to go where guys aren't. So we're going to make some changes, and more than anything, just I'm going to work on getting as comfortable as I can and do my job well. So again, just guide this race car around the place and get the 13 closer to the front. All right, guys, so heat race is complete here. We started 7th, which the inside, you know, at Volusia is not necessarily the spot you want to be in unless you're maybe in those first 2 rows. Car in 8th actually got a really good jump and I think ended up transferring through the heat. You can kind of just build a little bit of momentum, roll a little bit faster, and then you have more of an angle into turn 1. But nonetheless, I could have done a little bit better job on the first lap. Kind of got in, cut my entry a little, and then got across the bottom instead of like sticking it. I kind of slid through it and then spun my tires down the back stretch. And then from there was running 8th and then kind of ran around. Once everyone started spreading out, it was almost like a hot lap session. Racetrack has quite a bit of grip, but it is starting to widen some. 1 and 2 is definitely the widest part of the track, where 3 and 4, there's actually almost a grip lane on the bottom and then almost like 2 lanes up where they threw some material and things almost got a little bit stickier. So we're gonna move into the B main event now. Definitely felt more comfortable there than qualifying. Everything's starting to slow down, kind of come to me, and that's kind of what tonight's all about, right? Kind of knocking the rust off, and obviously would have liked to have been closer to making the show there, but I feel like my laps are getting better, and there was a couple times where I got through 3 and 4 well, moved around in 1 and 2, just kind of checking out all lanes here so we can get our race car better, and of course I can get up to speed. So B main event is gonna be rolling up here soon. Before we have the C and the dash, so a little bit more track time just for us to spectate and kind of see what's going on. I feel like the talk of the pit area and on social media is how good Volusia's been to start the year, whether it's been the late models, whether it's been the Wing 360s, and even the modified. Now they resurfaced it recently, new material, and it seems like it's kind of actually turned into more of an ice skating rink than what it was before. I feel like Volusia was known, again, for being extremely fast, but carrying that pace all night, where now it almost seems like it really starts to slow down as it gets wide and wider than before. I mean, if you run the bottom, you got to be right by the inside wall. In the top, in the 360 division, you know, last week, they were actually almost running it like Tulare, like literally right rear on the wall. Now, it's not quite there tonight, but I think it's kind of heading that direction. So I feel like us teams really just trying to search for grip and how we can kind of build momentum and keep our cars stable, even though we are losing some of that grip into the racetrack. We can still keep good speed and maneuver between all the different lanes. So we're going to be rolling off 13th here in this B main event for transfer. This is another opportunity for us to really just try to get our stuff better for the rest of the week and continue to figure out Volusia. climbed out after the B main event, getting ready to go and watch the A. Started 13th there and worked our way to an 11th place finish. Just need to work on getting some more track position for the rest of the week. What that means is qualifying better, putting ourselves farther up in the heat, putting ourselves, you know, even if you're in a B, if you're in those first couple rows, that is a tremendous help than trying to start so far back. These big racetracks, once we get spread out, it's hard to make up ground. And every time I hit the track tonight, my last few laps were my fastest. Like in the B main, out of 12 laps, lap 11 was the quickest. And I finally just started to figure out running the bottom in 1 and 2, which I ran most of the race, and you really have to shut it down and catch the grip with your left front by the inside wall. First couple laps I had the right idea, but I kind of washed out sometimes and wasn't able to stick it when I was around other cars. And then I was trying to get to the top, and I was losing so much time getting to the center because I was just kind of in the slick, where later in the race I was actually driving down the whole bottom of the backstretch, and you don't have great angle into the corner, but you can kind of drive across, and there was a little bit of grip, and then the exit narrows up so you actually can get to the exit a little bit quicker. Maybe that all makes sense. 1 and 2 is really wide, 3 and 4 is wide too, but it narrows up a little bit on exit. There's grip on both lanes. But anyway, that's a little recap on just the B. Sucks we didn't make it out. Obviously want to have a better rest of our weekend and just have some work to do to qualify better, and again, also tonight knock the rust off. So glad we got some laps and looking ahead at, you know, really improving as we get through our Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Well, guys, up here at the racetrack after they just ran the feature, and man, Volusia delivered once again. I think you could call it Volusia Tulare. Like, that's what it reminded me of, just way, way faster. I mean, credit Spencer Basin. He won the opening Outlaw show. I mean, and he was on it. I mean, just right rear on the cushion on entry, basically as high as you could be, and then all the way down the backstretch. I mean, it looked like they were almost using the wall again, like we've seen at Tulare. Very, very impressive. And the racetrack, you know, wasn't rubber down, or for how slick it was, like it really held up. And there was also a bottom. There was guys that went from 20th on back all the way to the top 5, and guys that went to the work area and still ran back through. So really impressive stuff. I feel ready for the rest of the weekend. I'm actually glad I got to watch some. Again, I'm just soaking it all in. I feel like a sponge right now. I'm just soaking it all in from, you know, my first laps behind the wheel, and then, you know, now getting a chance to watch the A main event and really want to improve and get rolling, and again, just make some great qualifying laps. If we can unload with some speed, be a little bit closer, get myself closer, I know that we can be, you know, in that contention spot, because you just got to be in the first few rows of these races to have a good chance and be in position to capitalize. So anyway, Volusia delivered. I think we're not done seeing great surfaces the rest of the week. So we're just leaving the track now. The Dirt Car Nationals, I won't lie, it's pretty cool, man. There's a lot of fans, a lot of modifieds, almost 100 modifieds. And we had 44 410 sprint cars, and obviously everyone's gonna be continuing through the rest of the weekend. So looking forward to getting after it. Gonna do some studying tonight, do my homework, and you know, just continue to keep gelling with this team and Buch Motorsports. And of course, ready for the rest of the season. Just wanna obviously put some results down and really get rolling at some of these big, fast racetracks. These are some of the toughest places we, you know, have to conquer on our schedule. And I think obviously once we start getting up to speed at these places, we're also going to go places that we're familiar with, or that, you know, I can get out and just rip. So just want to continue to do my job, and we'll make things happen. So big thanks to the team, big thanks to all you supporters, and 2026 is going to be a great season. Just keep sticking it out with me, and we'll really get rolling here in Florida and continue through into the high limit schedule and everything we have planned ahead. So we'll see you in the next one. Peace.